Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Wally Weasel. And here we are with another video where I basically go over my unscripted, unpointed, this time, just basically here talking, thoughts on the Fallout Day event and the news that they figured would make people happy. Yeah, I was kind of humming and hawing on whether or not I should basically do this because, like by this point, everyone and their monkeys, uncles, nephews, cousins, twice removed, will have put out their thoughts. But I figured since I came out with a video earlier where I kind of, put out my own little wish list out there into the sky, I should at least address the whole situation, give my own thoughts. And hey, if you're watching this, then thank you for wanting to know my thoughts, which are basically, I assume, very much similar to most everyone else, as with my last video. So let's just get right into it. You know that big Fallout fan. So yeah. So first and foremost, we have the Fallout Shelter update. I'm not really big on Fallout Shelter. I've actually never played it. It's not really my thing, so I'm both uncaring and caring about this update, given that it is basically a way for them to monetize the game. And from my understanding, it is both kind of, is it online? Does it have online features? I'm not sure. Like, that's how much I don't know about Fallout Shelter. I know you can play it offline because I know a lot of people just mostly play it when they're traveling or what have you, because it's just a mindless thing to get into, like reading a book or watching a movie. You just play Fallout Shelter. So obviously there should be an offline manner, but they are introducing battle passes. So that's basically monetizing a offline game. Not the best route to go, especially when they have bigger titles on the line, particularly things like Elder Scrolls and Fallout 5. I know stuff has leaked about Fallout 5, but I didn't look into it. I know people have been categorizing it as troubling. Hopefully this is not what that's all about. Yeah, I kind of avoid leaks because I would prefer to hear from the company and then go from there. I'm not loyal to any company. It's just I would prefer to know stuff for certain rather than believe the uncertain, and then make my own opinion based on that. But that's just that. And then we get to Fallout 76, and yeah, we kind of knew what this was. They already said they're Burning Springs, blah blah blah. They're free update, which I will give credit to Bethesda on that, despite the fact that they did kind of renege on their Atomic Shop only cosmetic items for sale comment, and then they kind of did a little waltz around. Well, I didn't say it technically like that and all that stuff. At least the updates are still free, mainly because I don't think Bethesda would understand how expansions in an MMO kind of work. And given that if everything we've gotten in Fallout 76 since its release was released via expansions, with the exceptions, I imagine, of community events, like your Fosnot and your your Meat Week and all that other stuff. If all the updates were sold to us, I think Fallout 76 would have been dead a long time ago, because a lot of that is not really worth paying for. Essentially, outside of like the map expansions, I think that's basically about it. Everything else could just be easily ignored, but I think it's just easier for them to keep it as free updates, because then it's like everybody gets it, so then we don't have to care about whether you've bought this update or not, because you've all got it, right. So props to them on that one aspect that they've been keeping up with that. So, but at the same time, I am cautiously a little optimistic on the update because from what I've seen, like the tiny snippets, at least not every enemy in the Burning Springs area is going to be bullet sponges because, they don't really have good ideas when it comes to enemies outside of let's just quadruple their health. And that's basically it. And like the last good idea they had for an enemy was the Wendigo Colossus, in which he would have the frightening howl. And since then, really nothing. They've had super fast super mutants, and they've had trees with guns. So yeah, not the most original kind of stuff. And whatever happened to those super mutants? They just kind of disappeared, didn't they? They were only in like that one cave for that one tiny period. But anyways, I digress. And then we have the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition. Yay! It's Bethesda re-releasing the same game again. And I was seriously back and forth on this. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it kind of sucks, but it's a complete edition. Until I remembered that there was a Game of the Year edition released, like maybe a couple years after Fallout 4 first came out. And yeah. So this is basically the same thing, just with the next-gen update patch put into it. So, yeah, and the thing is that looking at it, I was like, that's the next-gen update patch. So that's fine, because it'll give players who are still on, like, the Xbox One and Fallout 4 who did not get the next-gen update patch a chance to get the next update patch, basically by having all the Creation Club stuff given to them. And no, as I just found out looking up on their official page, it is actually coming out only on current gen consoles. So it's the exact same thing, just with a brand new paint job. Basically it's Malibu Stacy with a hat. And yeah, and then they have like Creation Club stuff coming out on it so that they can, hopefully not sell that kind of stuff. I mean, they are like, that's the motto of the Creation Club, but at the same time, it's like, I saw it in a video for Mr. Matty. He basically asked the question, what is Bethesda doing for the Fallout Anniversary? And this is basically nothing. It's somebody taking some concept art from the original Fallout 4 and just slapping an Anniversary Edition text over it and saying, yeah, that's good enough. Anyway, what are those mod losers doing? Let's see if we can monetize some stuff. So, yeah, I'm kind of back on the fence of, this really sucks. And last but not least, we have the New Vegas Anniversary Bundle, which I think is probably one of the most ire-inducing things within the Fallout community. I'm sure Fallout 4 is right up there too, and Fallout Shelter. Really, everything that Bethesda's done, because in all of Fallout Day, there was not even a mention, really, outside of like the Fallout 76 update, because they had Walter Goggins in there for portraying the ghoul. Like, there's nothing about the TV show, no trailer, no things there. And I'll get around to what I'd have done differently soon. But yeah, let's just look at this Anniversary Edition for Fallout New Vegas. And I do like the fact that that they put the word exclusive on a lot of this stuff. You know, like, this is the only way you're going to get any of this stuff. Rawr. So let's look at the patches. The Mojave Express and the NCR Recon. Very nice, very nice. Thing is, I already owned the Mojave Express patch. And I didn't get it from Bethesda. I got it from a little known site called Etsy. So, and it looks the exact same. In fact, taking a closer look at it, I don't. Hold on, let me. I actually just No, okay, it is embossed. So you know, again, it's the exact same. I don't know if they bought them from Etsy and then said that it's theirs, but I don't know. And then we have the evaluation cards. You know, they look very nice. You know, they've on their official advertising image, they've even got two bears high-fiving out front and center. You know, if you don't know what that means, just look into it. Thing is, again, I already own the two bears high-fiving evaluation card. My mom owns the two bears high-fiving evaluation card because I gave it to her as part of her Mother's Day gift one year. You know, I think she saw a spade at first, and I think my dad saw something else until I told them about the whole story of two bears high-fiving, and then my dad saw it first, and then he pointed out the bear's ears to my mom, and then my mom was like, oh, okay, now I see it. And my mom was like, you know, big on bear collecting, so I figured that would be a fun thing for her. And so yeah, not so exclusive because, again, Etsy. That's kind of where I got that. And they're actually, you know, very good quality. The card stock was nice and hard, so it wasn't like, you know, a flimsy printout or whatever. It was actually done with a lot of care and attention. I'm not saying that, you know, these won't be. I'm just saying that they're not exclusive. And if you just want the individual things, then you can get the individual things. Next up, we have the Vault Boy pen. You know, it is the Vault Boy with a bunch of caps. Don't look at that as a capitalist sign of greed or anything like that. Just look at the caps. The chips. I knew it. I knew it. I was mentally going over this video in my head, and I kept saying, you know, you're going to call it caps. You know, you're going to call it caps. It's not caps. They're chips. And yep, unconscious reaction. I said caps. I meant chips. You know, but again, you know, I'm trying to distract you from the symbol of corporate greed in hoarding the chips. I mean, you can look at it as like, he's just lucky, you know. But you know, if you want, go ahead, and it's, you know, an enamel pin because, you know, those things I guess are still fairly popular. I'm not even going to look this up right now, but I am 100% certain that our old friend Etsy can come back in here. And in fact, I'm pretty certain that Amazon can come in here and say, what do you mean exclusive? Because I'm pretty sure, without actually looking up, you can get like a bundle of pins. Because I know you can get like bundles of pins of Disney stuff, because of the whole pin debacle at was it Disneyland or Disney World? One of the places, I don't know. I watched a video about it not too long ago. So that's kind of what's telling me that you can probably get a bunch of Fallout pins as well, because by now they would have been mass produced. So I wouldn't exactly say exclusive here either. So, you know, that's three things we can kind of cross out. But the Victor statue, I mean, that's exclusive, right? I mean, in that quality, in that design, in the fact that you can only have Victor's face on it. Yeah, it's a nice design, and it's obviously professionally crafted. It's not, you know, 3D printed and you get all those lines. And yeah, it is cheaper than what you could pay on our dear friend Etsy for a painted variant of a 3D model. But yeah, I would not have just stuck with Victor. for such a price, because it's not that difficult to make various little plastic cutouts or what have you of different faces. You know, you've got Victor, you've got Angry Victor, you've got the 2 Securitron models, you've got Mr. House, you've got Mr. House's girlfriends, you've got the corrupted Securitron. Hell, you could have gone like unique. You could have had like, you know, Vault Boy, Vault Girl. You could have had Dog Meat. You know, you had all these interchangeable faces for this statue, and I'm certain that fans would have been more receptive to something like that. Again, this is just something different that I would have done, and would not have cost anything more than what they put in to produce the statue. Which, you know, again, it's a nice looking statue. I'm looking at it now, and like no foul on the statue. Just going the extra mile would have been, you know, appreciated, and it would have been appreciated towards the fans, because again, like, they would have had like their own individual thing. Hell, like, you know, what's your favorite? Oh, well, now I suddenly like the girl, or, you know, like, shoot, I can't remember the name. That's much people don't really realize that there is like the Mr. House girlfriend Securitron. No, I think I probably would have just gone like the Dog Meat, because, you know, kind of morbid that way. But yeah, but no, just the Victor face, which again, it's fine, And then we have the game. The game comes out as well with the edition, because, you know, because I mean, they're all collector's editions have to come with the game, right? They're like, what collector's editions out there don't come with the game? Because that's not confusing or disrespectful to the fans who spend like $300 to $500 on a collector's edition to not even get the game that it's all based upon, right? Right. The only thing though is that it is a Steam code. It's not a physical version or anything like that. It's just, here, go to Steam. Don't even like bother buying it off our website. Just here. You got it on Steam. You know, that's cool, right? I mean, it's not really, because at the end of the day, this all makes me think, who is this for? Like seriously, who is this for? The amount of people who would watch a Fallout Day event, I would imagine that 95% of those people are Fallout fans. And then, you know, of those 95%, I would have to say another 95% of that 95% already own Fallout New Vegas, or they have access to a copy of Fallout New Vegas. Maybe they have it on Game Pass. Maybe they have a physical copy. Maybe they have it already in their Steam library. Maybe they know someone who has it, or what have you. It's just, I'm pretty certain that everyone who's like a Fallout fan has at least played Fallout New Vegas, or has easy access to getting Fallout New Vegas. So, and, you know, people who just casually watch the show and are gamers themselves might go, oh boy, you know, I sure do wish I could play some Fallout New Vegas, because they get the full experience of this thing. And then they come and they see the anniversary bundle and they see the price. I don't think they're gonna buy it either. So again, like, it's good, it's fine to celebrate, but the thing is that not everything is exclusive. The Victor statue is nice, but is it worth that much? I mean, obviously, comparatively to what you would find on Etsy, the answer is a resounding yes. Yeah, things on Etsy really do charge a lot. But the thing is, again, like, I just don't understand. At the same time, there's the strong speculation that they would have a remaster, and it's not just like, you know, hopeful thinking. It's a business decision that gives them a lot of money because of the success of the Oblivion remaster, and the fact that, you know, they're not going to be having any new Fallout game for 20 years. Like, I know, you know, the whole remaster thing is starting to get old for a lot of people, but a Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 remaster would go a long way, you know? So, like, just announce that. Now, just like in a cheeky way, you know? You don't even have to come out and say it. You can just say, you know, we're going to put out the Game of the Year and Ultimate Editions on all consoles. You know, even like the Atari, somehow. Because we're Bethesda and we just like re-releases. And, you know, like, we don't have to put out like full physical releases because we're working on something. Wink, wink. You know, and people have been all like, oh my god, wow, that's pretty cool. Because that's not really a confirmation, but it's an acknowledgement of what the fans want, you know? So that's kind of how you deal with that without, you know, announcing anything. Yet you are announcing. You know, fans can look into that, and that's kind of what these events are for. These events are for the fans, you know? Like, there shouldn't just be like one giant commercial. It's the whole, you know, you guys are awesome, and we like, yeah, we want to sell you stuff because we're a company, but we also know like the sorts of things that you talk about, and we want to acknowledge that we're in there with you, you know? Like, I think they've already specified before that they listen to the fans. They try and join in on the conversations and the in-jokes and stuff like that. But when they have like the whole event that's all about that kind of thing, they turn it into a commercial. You know, like the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition. It doesn't need to be an edition. You could have just said, hey, you know, we've got some new stuff for Fallout 4. It's a coming because it's the anniversary. And yeah, like, they didn't have to go out and say Anniversary Edition. They just had to say it's the anniversary, and here we got like an update. You don't even have to detail what the update is. You know, I'm pretty sure people will have understood what the update is because they've already got the next gen update. All it had to be was just, hey, we've got this. You know, we know that it's been 10 years since Fallout 4, so here's this. It's easy. It's easy, and it's less money spent on their part because you're just talking to the fans. You're showing the fans what they want, what they would like to see, what they enjoy. You're acknowledging. You could have like the three main actors from the Fallout TV show come in and play a Fallout game. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, just like whatever Fallout game you want to advertise, you know. Have them play Fallout 76 and play the Burning Springs update. Showcase that. Have them play Fallout Shelter and laugh whenever they fail. You know? Like it's just easy. Why is Fallout Day hard? You know, especially when there's the excitement of the TV show. You ignore that? It's easy. I think the worst part about all this, oh, and Fallout 4 is coming to Switch too, so, you know, enjoy that, is for Fallout 76, you can get a free player title, because player titles are a thing in Fallout 76, and the player title is Hopeful. Yeah, it's for their Fallout for Hope thing, for their charity stream, but it's like hopeful that Bethesda will do better. Hopeful that, you know, they're not going to be greedy the next time. Hopeful that the next Fallout Day event will actually be something that's worth talking about in a positive light, instead of just, here, this is how we're going to monetize all of our games. So I don't I don't know. Like, as a Fallout fan, I'm disappointed. As a gaming fan, I'm disappointed. And yeah. Again, like, I didn't want to do the video because it's just going to be too negative, and I'm not a fan of doing negative stuff. But I just had to get these thoughts out of my head, and now they're in your head because you watched the video. So, welcome to the club of insanity. All right. Well, I will see you next time, hopefully with a brighter video. Yeah. Bye, everybody.